right now. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Right now. Let's get it started. 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 Right now. Right now. Right now.
All right, here we are. Did we make it?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We are here after all. What kind of week was that?
We dropped in. We here. What's going on, y'all?
Oh, so good to see your faces. Oh my goodness, I have missed y'all.
Likewise. Y'all look good though.
Well, okay, thank you. Well,
never as good as you, Dr. Slick. Do you have a telephone booth that you go into and come out of? I mean, I don't know how it's.
I tell people I'm the greatest drag artist that they will ever meet. That's a fact.
So yeah, you got that superpower. That's all I can say about that.
What can I say? This is transformation, everybody.
Yes, and that's what it's about. That's what it's about here with Crucial Connections. I'm Dr. Marcus Robinson, Collaborations Executive Director. I'm so glad you folks have decided to join us.
Yes, I'm Nicole Brooks, also known in these streets as Dr. Slick. My gender pronouns are she, her, they, them. Happy Pride to all my queer babies. And I am Collaborations Associate Artistic Director.
And I am Anthony Moseley. I'm the Artistic Director. I use he, him, his pronouns. And apparently I have an unstable internet connection.
That's all right. The signal's got to go to outer space and then come back down. But while it's here, we want to let you know that we got up to 90 guests that are going to be able to join us here in the Zoom conference. And you can also share your thoughts and ask your questions by signing up for a ticket in advance, because this is definitely not the last time we're doing this. And while we're doing this, everyone else can live stream on Facebook, YouTube Live, and Twitch. And you can also go back and watch our first 7 shows and all of the individual segments on our YouTube page. So go back, check it out, and make sure you click subscribe.
That's right, here at Crucial Connections, where we are working to dismantle oppression and lift each other up. And this program has been lifted up by our sponsors, the Joseph and Bessie Feinberg Foundation, as well as the Mark and Jeannie Malnati Family Foundation. And of course, our stalwart supporters over at AV Chicago, and all of the individual and monthly contributions that have been coming in. We've been seeing $5 donations, $5 monthly donations. Got to give a shout out to my boy BJ for dropping $250 last week. So all different sizes, denominations of money are welcome, and we surely appreciate it.
Yes, we are staying in our lane, which is to produce great theatrical streaming art that incites dialogue and passion and empathy and bringing action. And so you can contribute to that with as little as $5 a month, or any amount that really represents your passion for dealing with the issues that matter most here in Chicago as it relates to racism and the kind of oppressions that we saw our friends and families marching in the streets last week in a beautiful, direct action kind of way to kind of lift us up to say, we can do better, we must do better, we will do better. And I just want to shout out to all those federal, state, and local agencies that have taken that message to heart and begun to make real changes to address some of the issues that were raised last week. It's just a start. We've got more to go, and that's why we're staying in our lane and doing our work. So we need your help, and we've launched a matching gift challenge campaign called Transcendence to raise a total of $100,000 to ensure that Collaboration survives this pandemic, this double pandemic, by creating this platform and others. And we really are thankful and appreciative of the Feinberg Foundation and the Malnati Family Foundation, which have agreed to match the first $50,000 we raise. And so far, we've raised $22,644, which is 45% of the goal. You know, I'm wondering who threw in that extra $4, but that's all good too. We'll take that as well. So please contribute if you can, what you can. Like they say, if you can't get out there and protest, open the wallet. Collaboration.org.
And your donation will support this show as well as the Prodigies Workshop, which congratulations to Dr. Slick and Luis Crespo and Ethan and Mia and Emmy and the whole Jake, the whole team. They just completed 8 weeks of creative writing classes online for young artist activists. And it was a really wonderful thing. Dr. Slick, thank you so much for lending your heart and your wisdom to these young writers. And we're going to be releasing a YouTube version of this first of 7 episodes. So if you missed them, if you're a young person that missed them, you could follow along. And other shows, like tomorrow, we have a new Friday at noon program called Becoming a White Ally Co-Conspirator. Our second one is tomorrow at noon. We had 52 white people last week having a heart-to-heart talk about how we can learn, grow, and activate and help this profession. I was floored by the attendance and the interest, and it looks like we're going to have a packed Zoom tomorrow. And I encourage anybody who's either well steeped into social justice or just starting to figure out their role to join us and learn tomorrow.
Get in where you fit in. That's right, everybody. Roll up your sleeves, honey.
Yeah.
So we slinging mud everywhere. Everybody, you got to roll it on up. All right, let's drop into what we're doing on this week's show. We are going to be exploring this moment of change, and we have some fantastic guests, and they include LaTanya Johnson of LaTanya's Youth of Englewood, that's in Act 1, and Deb Clapp, the Executive Director of the League of Chicago Theater in Act 2.
And our halftime performance tonight is the wonderful singer-songwriter, actor, playwright, Aidee Truitt, a youth ensemble member at Clever Action, an alumni of our program, a fantastic young artist who has been known to make a person cry. So get ready, Dr. Marcus.
I'm ready.
Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. All right.
Yeah.
I am super happy to introduce this genius, especially I'm born on the west side, but I'm raised on the south side, right there in Washington Park, right next door to the great state of Englewood, because Englewood is a state of mind. LaTanya Johnson is the founder and executive director of LaTanya and the Youth of Englewood. They were established in 2013, and the organization is working with babies from ages 5 to 13, and they are providing after-school activities. And what they're all about is, and not limited to, is education, communication, skill building, advocacy, and support. All of these functions facilitate, stronger relationships, lovable, capable human beings and positive adults, which we all know that we could use in this world. LaTanya, we are so excited to see how your organization started in 2013, and here we are in 2020, and you're still working with these babies, especially at the Ogden Park Playground. And LaTanya's just been serving students from 4 to 8 p.m. Like, if you stop and think about, a 24-hour day, and 4 to 8 p.m. is the toughest part. So we really want to lift up folks like LaTanya, who doing work in all of our communities, especially with these young folks, and it is completely free of charge. LaTanya believes fervently in providing a safe space and a fun-loving environment where they can have impactful memories and they can hold for the rest of their lives. Humans, put your hands together for LaTanya John. Snap, 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 snap.
Yeah.
What up, what up, what up?
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you everyone for having me.
Welcome.
So good to see everybody.
Now, can you just give us a little profile? Because I'm just trying to highlight these beautiful earrings that you have. So can you give us a one more again? Yeah.
Hey, you're lucky I don't have on my inspiration today because she over there. And that's Michelle Obama. I can't wait to wear her. I love wearing her when I wear her.
How does a warrior look so refreshed and beautiful as you do? We want to welcome you and we want to thank you for holding space with us. Now, I am curious, do you mind tilting your cap and can we see the image that's on your hat?
Oh,
just
so that's
just
me.
little...
I took it. So it's a part of my logo, but it's me. Can you see it?
Yes, yes.
Oh yeah.
This is fantastic.
Yeah. That's what I call branding and style, baby.
Well, this is this is a great place to kick off our conversation, talking about self-love. You have this beautiful image that you're wearing on that hat. And so what I would love to just start a conversation and get to know you a little bit more is to find out, when did you first sort of discover self-love? Like, what was the thing that made you go, click, I got to get this right for me, before you even got to taking care of the rest of your community? I'm just curious about maybe what the origin, what's your origin story there?
Well, it kind of took for me to be a teen mom, right? So, you know, after I had a baby, it's like, okay, I need to get it together. Like, I need to, you know, work, take care of my baby, make sure I don't leave him on nobody, you know, and things like that. So just going through the years and having those people in my life to keep me encouraged, not judging me or anything like that. That's kind of where it all started. And then after having my children, and then them growing up and then seeing other children feel comfortable with coming over, you know, to my house and being on the computer is where the organization part started.
I love that. Yeah. And can you share with us your observation? What's the state of our babies right now? Give us the real deal. You know, every day in the news, we're getting numbers, we're hearing experts, and we're hearing these yum, 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 yum. We want to really hear from you what's going on with our babies. What's the mental state? What's the deal?
Well, the mental state, because of all the media and all the news and how they portray, like, oh, this is bad, this is terrible, don't go outside, don't do this, don't do that. So I had a set of babies that just didn't want to like come outside, not even to like go in the backyard, because there was no one back there, but they just said, oh, the news said if we go outside, we're going to catch it. You know, so I had to just go, you know, I had to sit down and talk to them because they like, do you got it? I said, excuse me. Yeah, and I'm going to come and give it to you. So I joke with them, you know, but on the serious tip, I told them, I said, look, we still got to continue to live life, guys. I said, only thing you do is follow directions. The things I teach you at the center, I want you to do the same thing, you know, the same thing. I want you to follow those directions and do as you told. I said, it's just all about being careful. You only go out for things that you really need. So these are kids that's like 7, 8, and 9, which they understand, right? And so I think they've gotten a little bit better with it because I had started going by, dropping off food to them and stuff like that. So they would like stand by the door. I would like put the box by the door, and they'll be like, Titi Tanya, because they all call me Titi Tanya. I'm the mother of Englewood, but all my kids call me Titi Tanya. So they're like, Titi Tanya, you got to put the box right there. Okay, not a problem. I said, matter of fact, if y'all ain't got masks, it goes some for you. Okay, we got one, but here's a couple extra just in case. So we're doing all this talking, but again, it's all about making them feel good, letting them know, it's more to life than just this. We just need to be careful, but go out and get your essential things. You get the things that you need. I say, and if it's, if you guys are just playing in the backyard, it just needs to be you guys. There's no hugging, no touching. There's no being in each other's face. So a lot of them understand. They just have to be, they can't be told by the media because it's a totally different ball game when you're being told by the media. So just try to keep them focused and making sure letting them know that everything is going to be okay.
And we really just need more, we need more folks like that. As adults, we're all, we're masking up, we're gloving up, we're doing all the things. And even the big kids forget to go outside and stretch. I know I'm one of them. I'm cagey because yesterday I just didn't go out. Today I haven't been out, it's just been like hunched over in front of the computer. And so it's great to hear that you are reminding everyone to keep that childlike spirit and go outside and play. Just don't touch nobody, but we can all go outside and play.
But who we have to make sure that we keep in mind is, parents. It's the parents. Like the last couple of days, today, right before I got on, one of my babies text me. That's what they do. They'll text me, they'll FaceTime me, and they say, hey, Titi Tanya, when the center open back up, can you call us, please? That text is in my phone. And then another parent, she said, when is summer camp? Because she's getting on my nerve now. I mean, don't get me wrong, they love their kids, but they've been in the house too long together. Make sense to you? They've been in the house too long. Sometimes the parents need that peace of mind. So that's where I come in at. I come in and set that peace of mind for about 4 hours. So my program runs year round. It's summer camp, and then school year is 4 p.m. through 8 p.m. And again, as you said and you stated, I do this totally free because I can remember as a child, I couldn't afford to go to YMCA. Those are places I wanted to go, or to the park district because, they were very expensive. So that was where you found yourself outside with nothing to do, in your community. And that same community that I've lived in, it's still the same way today, which is West Englewood. It's still the same way today. And there's nothing for those kids to do. It's a park district. I think that park district holds maybe roughly about 25, 30 kids. You got 1,000 more out here on the street. So, my concern is built around places where kids have nothing to do. Make sense?
Yeah.
All the sense. All the sense. Dr. Marcus, you are a pillar of Englewood along with LaTanya Johnson, excuse me. And I just love having Englewood in the house. Englewood, if anybody is looking at this and you have not had the opportunity to visit the vibrant, beautiful community of Englewood, rectify it. Okay, go and do the work. It is worthy of the just go down there and see, like you see these two beautiful humans, and they are just two of many that are doing so much crucial work. I mean, like, I'm gonna say it one more time. This woman is doing this work for at no charge to these families. And I imagine, LaTanya, that, and you're raising a family of your own. I imagine that at the end of the night, you're pretty tired, yes?
So maybe sleepy, because tired probably not a word that I claim. So maybe a little sleepy, right? I'm a little sleepy. So again, I'm very energetic. I use all the energy that God wakes me up with, I use every last bit of it. But kids keep me in this fun, active way. So not only are they having fun and they learning new things, as an Englewood kid, I'm doing the same thing. So as an adult, I'm doing something I probably ain't did, as a child myself. So all that is just like fun for us, and me and my kids have a ball. Ask them, they'll tell you. They teach me Tanya is fun, educational, and keep them straight. Okay, I keep them straight. I do keep my babies straight, but they're my babies. So I'll do anything for them. Mm-hmm.
LaTanya, I marvel at your work. You take two nickels, rub them together, and come up with a quarter. And you're one of the chieftains of Englewood. One of the chief mothers of Englewood, no question about it. And
thank you.
And there's a whole tribe of folk that follow you and support you. So could you share with our audiences like the numbers of kids that you've had come through your program and the kinds of things that you're doing? We have a guest in the audience who really wanted to know, what are you doing and how do you make that magic work? Thank you, Rose, for that question.
So I take my kids on the experiences that they've never done. Like my boys go fishing, right? So they go fishing. The girls do something totally different. So they have a t-shirt business. We do recreational activities, educational programming. Hey, look, they got a van. If it's time to wash it, they got to wash it. Like, I hold the kids accountable for what they do. And my program, look, I've been doing this for 7 years, you guys. 7 years, June 19th will be 7 years. I've been holding down this free organization for kids because I remember I couldn't afford. But again, inside those doors, those kids create a lot of stuff. Marcus, you witnessed the Inglewood, the Biggie project that they had, where they did a Inglewood Wall of Fame, where they created this, and I wanted to challenge them, and they did it out of boxes. So I just explore their minds. I'll just get something and be like, hey, make this or do this. And they'd be like, oh, I can't do it. Oh, you can do what you want, or you can do anything you put your mind to. So, but I mean, we have fun, you guys. We're educational. Again, school is first, education is first. That's how we roll. And then it's fun. So, and then just service and children. Oh my God, do I have to say, in the summertime, my space holds 50 kids. And then there's a waiting list after that. And during the school year, roughly, it depends. It's late in the day, so some people don't want to, come back out. Once they come home from work, the kids are home from school, they just there. So roughly 25 kids I'll service during the school year, So, and it's been 7 years. And then I host community events as well. Halloween, Christmas, Easter, and any other little talent shows or any type of event that the kids want to do. If they're doing like a fundraiser or anything like that, then I'm down. It's all about the kids, though. I'm down. And sometimes my events are youth-led. So the youth sits around the table, they gather up things, I stand in the back. So I that leadership as well, so.
Yeah, there's one piece of it that I've asked this question of you at least a dozen times over the last year. And I'm always struck by how very few words that come out of your mouth before I ask the question refer to like what you really give and what you really mean to these young people. And I just want to just reflect back to you what I've seen. And then there's that shit. You're like that house on the block where they got the cool parents and everybody want to hang out, and your living room just got too small for all those kids. So you might have got yourself a business room, a meeting room where you could have more, and it's grown and developed into this home and the home away from home with heart and soul, and just having a caring adult in their lives every day is so important. I just wanted to just reflect that back to you in public, because got to get your flowers now. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I appreciate that. I smell them. I promise you. Yeah.
Well, she's got a lot of star power too. LaTanya, do you remember the last time we saw each other?
Yes, Anthony, of course.
And what did you tell me?
I forget, Anthony, of course.
You were like, I'm an actor. When are you going to put me up on that stage?
Oh, that's right.
Here we are.
I'm waiting on my part.
Hey, well, we do it. This is an intermediate. This is an intermediate. We're getting there. Give me some time.
We already know she would have the best costumes. I mean, all she got to do
I'm
is open up
telling
a
you.
closet.
We're gonna be looking for a role for you.
Oh,
You
my.
better watch out.
I'm waiting and I'm ready.
It's inspiring how much you give.
Thank you.
What do the children give you? What do you take?
Oh my God, love.
What's the?
I get love now. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go
Oh
ahead,
no,
Anthony. I'm sorry.
no. What do the kids? What do they give you?
Love, a sense of peace, fun, loving, they caring. They need to be, they need that support that I give them. So they they embrace me and they give it right back to me. So that's why I spend my time with them. Them kids will call me on Saturday and I'll go get them. And it'd be about 8 to 10 of them. And I still just go get all of them because they be calling me. So I go get my babies when they call me and I take them to the center and we just do whatever. Because it's normally just Monday through Friday, but if they call me and ask me to come get them, yeah, I'm gonna go get them. I'm going to get them. They're my babies. Yeah.
And what are they saying about this unique moment in history right now, with the world protesting on behalf of the rights of Black people? What questions are they asking you, or what are they sharing with you, if you're comfortable sharing?
And those are more of the bigger kids. Those are more of my youth leaders. They send me like text messages, like they may Google something and then they send it to me. But their opinion is what should I say? How should I say? Her opinion is like, oh, we've been fighting for this amount of years. Like, all we want is the same equal rights, and we want police to be friendly again with us. We don't want to be scared. We want to believe that there's good police out there. And I tell them, I can't hold all of them accountable, but there are some bad police out there. So again, I don't completely want them to think that police is all bad, because we got some good ones. I have experienced that, but in my, I'm not gonna never tell them, oh, you're wrong. They are so correct. And when they come to me and they talk about these things, I'm listening. My ears is open, because guess what? I'm learning from them as well, because they the ones sit down and they Google this stuff and I'll be like, oh, I ain't never heard of that. So it happened again, because that's the conversation that you get into with the kids, because now everybody's trying to figure out what's going on today. But that was their opinion. That was actually their opinion. Yeah. I know they know about how once everything opened back up, how taxes gonna go up, how this gonna go up, and how that gonna go up. It's just like, they shouldn't be tearing up their own community. Again, they need to be educated. What did they say? Young people need to be educated about how do you do peaceful protesting, but not tear up your community, not allow folks to come from. So they've been in, kind of like in the news and different places like that. So they're still lightly talking about it and just trying to get to know, what it's all about, as well as myself and you and everybody else, and none of us ever experienced this, so yeah.
I think it's really interesting, LaTanya, that June 19th is coming up, and that is your anniversary. Yes,
7 years. Yes, ma'am. 7
y'all
years.
keep this. It's also Juneteenth. Okay, so that's a double date of liberation. So I want everybody out there. First of all, if you don't know what Juneteenth is, find out.
Tell them.
And look into her earrings and get with it. But I love that is also a day that we can celebrate what you're doing. I think there are a lot of people out there that may not know how detrimental it can be when you're seeing everything around you boarded up. When you're feeling like you're seeing, well, there's no feeling. When you're seeing these tanks that are rolling through, when there's constant helicopter activity, like I do worry for the mental welfare. And then there's still just that good old fashioned gun violence, just like the regular,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
gunfire that is happening all throughout our city. And so I just want to lift you up, and I want to encourage everybody that is looking at this. I really want y'all to lock arms with LaTanya, because you are preparing and you're repairing the children, because it is them that they are the ones that are going to continue to rebuild communities like Englewood. You know, they are the ones that have to look at what we're doing. So I'm just very, I just have to say, if I could touch the hem of your garment, I am super, I'm very grateful to know that you're out here repairing the minds of these young people, because sometimes when you're a big kid, you don't think about it. You're just thinking about how to survive it, and you're thinking about how mad you are and how you want to fight everybody. So I just want to lovingly embrace and say thank you for the work that you're doing.
Well,
and, you know, like, we definitely want to know how to support you. If there's social media to follow, how do we keep in touch with what you're doing?
So we do have a website at LaTanya and the youth of Inglewood.org. Our Facebook page is LaTanya. Use the and symbol, and my name is spelled with an A and not an O, because if you spell it with the O, you will not find me. So it's LaTanya. So LaTanya Johnson. You can also go to our Instagram at LaTanya and the Youth of Englewood as well. So you can find us there. Go to our website, check us out.
And one more question for you, LaTanya. What kind of acting you trying to do with us? What kind of play you want to do? I'm plotting here. What do you want to do?
Hey, listen here. I'm good at being an officer. So if y'all think I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I am though. Because those are the roles that I played. Hey, I was an undercover cop at that time. I'm telling you, I was an undercover cop and a gangbang at the same time. So I rolled with the gangbang and click. Yeah. And then once it was time to lock everybody up, that's what I did. So, but I can handle any part y'all give me. I'm gonna make it happen.
Well, I can tell you're an artist at heart. And as we all know, the artist is the most dangerous person in society, because we can get in anywhere, honey. So put that in your pipe, all right, everybody? The artist is the most dangerous one. And you are one of the great artists of our time. I can't wait to get to know you even more. And exchange earrings, because I got a whole bunch of earrings I think you might like.
Because I like earrings. I'm asking anybody, they'll tell you I'm an earring and sunglasses. I know I got about 30, 40 pair of shades. See, I just got on the head today. I'm playing a role. Got this for my birthday. But I got, all my shades match. I'm sure Marcus probably done seen me before when everything matching. Yeah, I'm a match freak.
Snap. It's on. So glad to have you here. Oh, so glad.
Thank you.
Such a beautiful soul.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys having me on the show. It was so much fun. And I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to coming back and my part, okay? I'm waiting on my part.
On a stage near you. Thank you.
Thank you, LaTanya, for being on Crucial Connections. Wasn't she just delightful and refreshing?
Yes, absolutely. Great interview.
She doesn't get tired because she's in exchange with all these incredible young people.
That's a hummingbird.
And the Englewood, there's something in the water in Englewood. The people are just funner. I mean, this is why look at Marcus. It's true. It's like, it's such an incredible community because people value and understand what it means to be a neighbor. A lot of other take it for granted.
Let me join you on that one, because it's one of Chicago's great secrets. Where there's great pain, there's also, that pain opens you up. It opens your soul. It opens your heart. So when people stand up and start to find each other and start to navigate all of the stuff we have to navigate, it brings you together in a way that, you know, it's hard to find out in polite society. I'm so proud of LaTanya's work, and you know, all the great leaders from on the South Side here. One of these things we got to get Anton Seals up here. He's another one of those great souls that we have. You know, you hardly ever hear his name, but if there's a green space that's open and beautiful or needing to be open and made beautiful, it's because Anton Seals is behind the scenes doing
And
that.
isn't there another bike ride coming up?
It'd be nice if we did. Now, I think I sat at a block with Faith King Fatal. We may do one because biking is social distancing. You know,
I think I saw like June 14th. I think Fatal's bike ride is coming up
this week. Oh man, I'm sleeping on it. I
might have the date wrong. I might have the date wrong. But I know you got a new bike, Marcus. So you and I got to go for a ride.
Yeah, man. I got a daddy big bike, baby.
We got an amazing halftime performer today. Her name is Aidee Truitt. She really just cuts through all the BS with her lyrics and her incredible heart and talent. Hi, Aidee. How are you? There's a rumor Aidee has unstable internet, so I'm in good company with her. Looks like she's coming on. Aidee went.
Where's you guys hear me yet?
Yeah, hi.
Yay.
Hi, Aidee.
Awesome. Hi.
Good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, and thank my internet for like working.
Well, it's kind of working. Let's give it a try and if we get lucky.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Can you guys hear me? All right, y'all, help me, Jesus. Okay. So this is a song I wrote recently called No Justice, No Peace. It's on iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify. So if you guys can't hear it fully here, you guys can catch it there later or something.
Cool. Let's do it.
Oh, this place has never been great, and my people have never been safe. Used to hate us the same way. I've been crying up since she's days. I stare at names in the grave, pictures of the fallen in frames, photos of the fighters in chains, screaming, no justice, no peace. Their blood cries out from the ground, no justice, no peace. Can you hear me now? No justice, no peace. They hang us in streets. No justice, no peace. So can't breathe. Oh, this place has never been great, and my people have never been safe. You say that things have changed, but you hate us the same way. Oh, but speak up, we'll stand up. You can't hold us down. No. Oh, my people don't know what it's like to say, rise up on the ground. No justice, no peace. Can you hear me now? No justice, no peace. No peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. You don't get to tell us how to heal. You don't get to tell us how to feel. We built this country on our backs, but you held your foot upon our necks. You don't get to say we have to change. We have no right to express our pain. You hold us down, you beat us with bats, but today we fight back. Oh, 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 today we fight back. Our lives began to end the day we become silent. Oh, you're with us, or you're against. Are you with us? Please stand with us. Are you with us? So that's the end of that. My internet cut out, I think. So
We could hear you. It was amazing.
awesome, cool. Because
Heard you.
was it the whole thing, or was it just part of it?
I could hear the whole thing. It was creepily amazing because all we just saw was your name, and then you just went over the cliff with your vocals and your passion. Thank you for writing that incredible song and sharing with us. Please play that as often as you possibly can.
Oh, today we fight back. What a rich storyteller.
Sorry.
My goodness.
Thank you guys for the opportunity to help them.
Thanks, Aidee. Great to see you.
Thank you, Aidee. Ah,
You as well. Awesome show. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Check her out, Aidee Truitt. She's really incredible. Her internet did not do her justice. We're going to have to look into the conspiracy theory about who took her internet away from her at the exact wrong moment. But, you know, I could hear it and you could feel it.
yeah. Oh my goodness. It was still refreshing. I feel like I got this big old cheesy grin on my face.
She was laying it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Video gone. I mean, she even had the mic and everything.
Yeah.
So such a wonderful performer. And now we move on to our next piece, our next guest. Oh my goodness! You know, I don't know how we stack it on top of this, but we got the right person to be coming up after those two great guests. We have Deb Clapp, the executive director of the League of Chicago Theaters. They say Chicago is the most fertile, most wonderful theater community in the world, the largest in the world. And Deb Clapp stands at the center in the fire with us, chopping wood, carrying water, helping us sort it out. No matter if things are good or bad or indifferent, she's there, you know, counseling and supporting and helping all of our theater companies, like, you know, be our best selves, do our best work, and hey, sell a few tickets here and there. That ain't bad either. Welcome, Deb. You know, you're here amongst friends. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Boy, LaTanya and Aidee, what a couple of amazing women.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
so impressed. Aidee's voice. I can't wait to go hear more. And LaTanya's work. Wow.
You know, it's like that. Chicago's filled with great, talented artists of all types, theater makers of all types, designers, people from all backgrounds and experiences, and you know, it's a full ecosystem of human creativity, right? And on a good day, we get it right and we tell it right, and people receive it in the way in which it was meant. And then, of course, we're human, and so things sometimes go awry, and usually it falls to you to come help us sort it out. So I wanted to open the dialogue with you by asking the question of, what do you love most about the Chicago theater community, and what do you hope for it as we try to navigate our way through this that we're going through right now?
Yeah, what I love most about it is it's all the people that make it up, right? I always say it's the most collegial theater community anywhere, but that doesn't really tell the story. It is an incredibly rich community of very passionate storytellers, and it's really, even during these tough times, it is an honor to be surrounded by all of these people. And that's what I like the best about it. Even during this time when we're actually not doing any work, right? I usually talk about the work, and I say, there's so, that's kind of my, my line, right? I always say, on any given night in Chicago, you can see 100 different plays on, but even without the work, right? We're this amazing, amazing community.
What are you hoping for? What are you learning from this time that we're in, and some of the the additional stress of the Black Lives Matter movement, and how people are responding to it, and all the ways in which it's touching our lives and whatnot? What are you hoping for our community of theater makers as we navigate this new norm, this new reality?
Yeah, the twin pandemics, people are calling it now.
Yeah.
I think what I hope for is that, well, just, I think I have to talk about COVID and about Black Lives Matter and racial justice differently. And I think, even though what I hope for COVID is that we rebuild a more just and equitable theater community, because we have lost so much right now. In many ways, we don't have anything else to lose. So let's rebuild it that looks more like what we want it to be, right? So I guess that is related. Coming from this moment of protests, of the extreme, the murder of George Floyd and what that has set off in this country and in Chicago and in our theater community, I think is another opportunity for us to change. Now, we've had this opportunity before, and we didn't go far enough. It feels like what I really hope for this time is that we are able to affect definitive and lasting change in our theaters and in our communities.
Now, you've been gathering us up for the last couple of years on this subject matter around equity, inclusion, and diversity, and dismantling institutional racism in our theaters and in the world around us. Tell us a little bit about that work. Open up the conversation a little bit about that, and I'd like to invite in the voices of Anthony and Nicole to join the party.
Great. Yeah, we've been doing anti-racism work with our membership for the past 3 years. We do anti-racism workshops, 2-day workshops twice a year. We also do advanced, and I go back and forth. Sometimes I call them workshops, sometimes I call them trainings. And then we do advanced trainings as well for people who have taken the first one. They can come and take a second training that is more intense. People have gone, we've started to measure the changes that people are making inside their organizations, their institutions. And a lot of what, it is, I think it is still much slower than we'd like. So a lot of what we're hearing is that there's a lot more conversation around racial inequities in their theaters. But people have not seen a lot of change in leadership. There hasn't been, anti-racist policies and practices adopted in a lot of, some have, but some haven't. So we're seeing that the changes, I think the change is coming and so many people are participating. And I think that we, what we do at the end of these workshops, we envision what a just and equitable and inclusive Chicago theater looks like. And I think doing that work is really valuable for all of the participants. And I think everyone is working towards that. And we've also put together what we call in the past, how long has it been, Marcus? Maybe 6 months or a year?
Yeah, it was like a year, yeah.
About a year. We've put together what we're calling the Transformative Change Team. And these are 10 people who have been through the training, been through the advanced training, and received additional training from our partners at Equity Quotient who do this training for us. And we are working with those 10 people to put these visions of a more just and equitable Chicago theater into practice. And so we do a lot. We've been getting together sporadically, but we just decided 2 weeks ago that we're going to start meeting every 2 weeks as we move through some of these issues. And I think that's going to help us really stay very focused on the work that we're trying to do.
Yeah, thanks for that.
That's what we've been working on.
Anthony, Dr. Slick, what's up?
Oh, a little bit of this, whole lot of that. Deb, Deb, I want to thank you for all that you do. For those who may not understand what the League of Chicago Theaters, what you do, I have a two-part question. I wonder, one, if you could just sort of give us a condensed, like, this is what we do, so that we can understand the word league. Like, what is it? What does league mean? And my second question is, how are the theaters coming together? Many of our institutions and storefronts, and however you want to call it, a lot of people are struggling financially. There are doors that are closing. There are doors that may never reopen. So I would just love to hear about, like, if you could be as transparent as possible, like, are theaters coming together? Like, how is everybody doing from your point of view?
Sure. So the League of Chicago Theaters is a membership organization. We have 230 member theaters throughout Chicagoland, ranging in size from the very tiniest all volunteer operations all the way up to, multi-venue, multi-million-dollar operations. So it's quite a diverse group of theaters, both commercial and nonprofit organizations. what we do, so the way I'm going to give you my elevator speech. So it is, we promote, support, and advocate for Chicago theater. So, you know, the one thing that unites everybody at all of those sizes is, of course, selling tickets, butts and seats. So we do a lot of that. We run hot ticks. We do the Chicago Theater Week. And we do all kinds of promotions all throughout the year. We have many, many partners throughout Chicago who work with us to promote Chicago theater. And then we support through many different ways. And it's sort of like, I always say this mission kind of allows us to do anything we want to do, right? If we think it's a good thing, we do it. So we support Chicago theater through any number of things. We have a lot of professional development programs, leadership programs, the anti-racism training, all of that. All of our members can do any of that. Any of those programs are free of charge. And then, you know, we also do advocacy at the local, state, and national level for government, mostly around funding, sometimes around policy. Right now it's around trying to reopen theaters. And then, but also, you know, advocating for funding with foundation funders, with corporate funders, you know, advocating, you know, doing things like, you know, that sort of rolls it all into one. You know, I go out and talk to a lot of Rotary clubs and things like that, right? Just to talk about Chicago theater. So, so all of that is what we're about. What's happening? So we are, people are, you know, theaters are in a lot of pain right now. I don't think there's any way that you can, you know, sugarcoat that. It is rough. People, you know, and when we will be able to reopen is a big question. And how we will be able to do that is a big question. And nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to do it if it's not going to be safe. But there are, you know, that nobody can do it if, you know, you can only let 20 people into a 300-seat house, right? So, because that's, you know, not only is it not viable financially, like, how is that audience going to, you know, that's not going to be a show. That's going to be just a weirdness, right? So, so I think, you know, I am hearing, you know, I'm going to say this. There are far fewer, I would have thought we would have seen by now so many more theaters close for good. And I haven't actually seen anybody close their doors for good. So I am really encouraged by that. We've been doing phone calls with the small theaters and the mid-sized theaters. And I have been really inspired by the hope that I've seen and the way that people are dealing with it. And they are trying to help each other. You know, they are sharing information. They are, you know, sharing advice. One of the big things that keeps coming up, you know, everybody's paying rent on these spaces that they can't use, you know, so like people are giving each other advice around, you know, how to negotiate with their landlords and things like that. So I think people are coming together in a lot of ways and rallying around this as something that's affecting all of us. Now, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to paint like this great rosy picture of the thing, because it's, you know, as I say, it is not rosy. But there are some bright spots. And again, it goes back to like, these people are extraordinary.
That's the Chicago spirit. The prairie's on fire, but we're going to find the water to put it out. So that is encouraging to hear. And right, Dr. Marcus? Like,
yeah, where we can't find water, we'll throw sand, right? It's fire. We're gonna put this fire out. Yeah, Anthony, what's on your heart?
Hey, Deb.
Hey, Anthony.
Well, Deb and I've been, she's watched me mature and grow as an artistic director. And I've watched her hairstyle change. Everybody freaked out when she cut her hair. And now I have a gray beard and a 12-year-old daughter. The Chicago theater community is really a big family. And if you're in it long enough, you'll get sucked in, even if, beyond your control, you'll fall in love with a bunch of people. But just like a big family, you still have that Thanksgiving dinner and those awkward conversations. And Uncle Bill is maybe a little behind. And Deb, I know that you're a fierce advocate for creating equity and inclusivity in Chicago theater. You were a gracious town hall panelist at our gender breakdown a few years back about the lack of gender parity in Chicago theater. Women are not getting the opportunities as playwrights or directors or artistic directors. And of course, neither are Black folks and Latinx folks. And I wonder right now, I kind of think that maybe the murder of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor has given the pandemic some meaning. And I wonder if you could, get inside the minds of the white male artistic directors and board presidents of Chicago theaters. If you could plant a seed and whisper something in their ear that might make them wake up tomorrow a little differently, what would you say?
Wow. What a good question.
Myself included.
I'm gonna get around that for a second by saying, when I first saw you on this call, Anthony, I was like, who's that guy? I thought you were some academic or something. That beard is fantastic.
Yeah.
When I first met Anthony, I came to Chicago. I was working at the Goodman, and Anthony played. I can't remember the name of the show, but Anthony played a monster in the show, and he was awesome. Do you remember? What show was that, Anthony?
Massacre by Jose Rivera, directed by Chuck Smith.
Right.
My wife Sandra was pregnant with Stella at the time, and it was like the all-star Latinx Teatro Vista ensemble members, and I played a horrible, godly figure on the other side of a door.
He was awesome.
Who could do that?
I think the thing that I would whisper in the white male artistic director's ear, what I would whisper in everybody's ear, is listen. Don't be defensive. Listen. And I'm not saying, maybe that sounds like a little bit trite or something like that, but I mean, I think that's really what, when we listen to each other, we can change our own minds. Right?
Yeah.
And it's not about, I don't think it's about changing, we have to change ourselves. And we're going to do that by listening to the people who can lead us in this change.
Yeah, it's something those folks are not used to doing all the time.
Yeah, I can speak for myself, right? It's not. I'm so used to you know, these jobs are so hard. You know this, you all know this, right? These jobs are so hard. And so we're just trying to get it done. We're just trying to, you know, do the job, do the best we can, and move on to the next thing. We don't have time to, you know, to stop and like reflect and, you know, and we're also very used to doing everything ourselves. And we're doing, and we're used to like making decisions and hoping for the best, quite frankly.
Well, and maybe this pandemic, or as our good friend GQ of the Q Brothers, who was on the show a few weeks ago, called it the Big Retreat.
Yeah.
Maybe the Big Retreat made it possible for people to be prepared to listen. I know I've slowed down. I used to have 20 things a day, deadlines a day, I swear, and now I have like 3. Breakfast,
That's amazing.
lunch, and dinner.
That's fantastic. You know, I'm actually busier than I've ever been right now, which I don't really understand.
Well, the Chicago theater community is lucky to have somebody as experienced and open-hearted and strong as you are right now, Deb. You were destined to be with us right now, and you know, just follow your heart and push hard, because we know that you have a knack for this thing. This was meant to happen. I remember when you were at the Goodman too. I remember hanging out with you at TCG in Minnesota, and I've watched you take the reins of the league and really do great things. And I was there at the second level Erasing Racism session when Jason Van Dyke was found guilty of killing Laquan McDonald. And you know, I like to think that some of the I marched for Laquan on Black Friday of whatever that year was, and it was underattended. But I think about Laquan McDonald right now quite a bit, because I do feel like his death, you know, is a part of this movement, and that young boy should be with us right now, and we should say his name as much as possible as we can as well.
Absolutely.
Jason Van Dyke, the first Chicago police officer to ever be found guilty for police brutality, and shot Laquan McDonald 16 times.
So I got one for you, Deb. This is more of a request than a question. So if you actually do get the ear of these, you know, fantastic leaders in our artistic community, you can tell them that Dr. Marcus asked, can y'all please commission some stories that help us envision a new reality around equity and inclusion writ large in our society, and then tell stories about ourselves in our theater work that helped us get there. Because I think the imagination is going to take us farther than know-how, given the road we're on right now. And there's no greater cauldron of imagination than the theater, because it calls every aspect of our humanity to bear. And if you got leverage with those cats, those men and women who are leading this community, please have them write some stories like that. And I think the seats will fill themselves if we do.
Yeah, why doesn't every company that's in the league open up the fall of 2021 with a black or brown playwright painting a worldview of what may be? We'll call it, give us a name, Marcus.
You got next.
You got next.
You got next. That's great. That's an amazing idea. That's an amazing idea. I love it.
Collaborative action's in.
All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Is there anybody from our Zoom room that wants to come on and ask Deb a question. If you do, this is the time. And Deb, what's your favorite show you've ever seen in Chicago theater?
Oh, come on.
I know that's such an unfair question.
Other than Lavana Madrid.
No. I did see it twice, and I rarely see anything twice.
Lavana Madrid. Sandra's doing an eye roll upstairs right now. I guarantee.
No, but you're her best fan though. You're like the best fan. I love it. I'm trying to grease your high water mark with my artist in house here. You know, being his great fan. You're fabulous. I appreciate you doing that.
I've been hypnotized for almost 24 years now, Marcus.
It works.
Well, hold on. Deb's trying to think of the show. What is she going to say?
No, I'm not gonna. You know what? That's not fair.
Okay, 3.
You can't ask me to do that.
Okay, how about
First of all, there's so many. There's so many.
Man.
You're trying to get her, man. Don't be trying to get Deb in trouble.
Trying to get me fired.
Deb, let me ask you this: for the young person or person that may be leaving their starting a new career, and they are studying theater right now. Okay, they are not yet working professionally, but they are hoping, or they had hopes to come and join the Chicago community to do their theater. So is there a message that you could give to those who are hoping to come back to this or come to this?
I would say that we will be here. Chicago Theater will be here. We will be back. They don't have to worry about that, right? The experience of seeing theater is, you know, we've all heard this, right? It goes back to the beginning of civilization. We're not gonna just walk away. And I think, you know, Chicago theater is very special. And it might, I think for right now, there is, you know, there's a great deal of strife in the community, but I think that's great. That is, you know, that is something that this community is built on, that brings us, in the end, it brings us together. And I know that there's a lot of pain right now, and a lot has, you know, a lot has happened that, you know, I can't even really comment on it, right? But I feel like in the end, it will make us better. And if you're interested in being in a community that's willing to examine itself like that, that's willing to fight for what they believe is right, then come on, come join us. There's no better place to be.
Oh, my goodness, Anthony, even for an old curmudgeon like me who's like, bah, I just felt the pang of, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
We're gonna make it.
Oh, we have a question we have a question in the chat. The question from Janice is, do theaters pay dues for league membership? If so, have the dues been suspended during this time? Thank you for your question.
Yeah, thank you, Janice. Yes, theaters do pay dues to the league. They're on a sliding scale. So it goes from $250 for the very smallest theaters all the way up to $3,000 for the largest theaters. We have not suspended dues at this time. However, if someone cannot pay their dues, we are, you know, we're still sort of, I don't know how to say it other than to say we're billing for dues right now. But we, we're not gonna hunt you down for it if you can't pay it. If you can't pay it, nobody's gonna be kicked out of the league at this time because they can't pay their dues.
Got it. Thank you for that.
And the league is just, it's invaluable. Just Chicago plays alone, being able to find talent and put out submissions and connect with one another. I think a lot of us take it for granted, because we just really can't imagine Chicago theater without the League of Chicago Theaters. And I think that's a credit to the community and all your great board members. And you gained a board member this year named Marcus Robinson, huh?
That's right.
We both
That's
looked
right.
up.
Well,
very proud to have Marcus Robinson.
Well, we
on our board too, a lot of them, some of the folks on our board are actually founders of the league. We have a lot of people who are really, really dedicated to the league and to what it represents.
We sent out an email today with an exciting announcement, so I can go ahead and share it with you. But our new board president, starting July 1st, is Darlene Jackson, also known as Lady D. She's co-director of the Columbia Career Center, and she's an internationally renowned house music DJ. Mm-hmm. And she is a Black woman. So we are just super stoked because she's just smart and cool as they come. And she's going to be on the show with us next week, and she's going to DJ a set after the show. We're going to keep it going. Next week, we're going to do a Black Music Month tribute called Music Heals Show. So I can't wait for you to meet Darlene Jackson. She's really incredible.
Oh, I look forward to it. She sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So keep the charge going. Keep leading us. Keep herding us cats. I know we're hard to deal with sometimes, but just all you got to do is put the little milk bowl out. We'll show up sooner or later. And and it's actually, it's true. It's true.
I do know it's true.
But thank you for coming in tonight to be with us, and to just to think about, reflect on our community, our ecosystem, and what we could do to make it better, and just keep taking those steps, and we'll step right along with you.
Well, thanks for having me. And, I really admire the three of you, everything that Collaboration does. Thank you for doing this program. And I look forward to seeing more. So thanks for having me.
You bet. Thanks.
Deb, we'll have to get her down to Kennedy King College to see a show.
Oh, yeah.
Down there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The Dow is down, but the spirit in Chicago theater is up because we fighting. All right. Speaking of fighters, we're going to move on to our last segment, my favorite segment, the Signal Boost. The Signal Boost. We use it to spotlight people and groups who are doing great things to bring us what? Together. And this week's Signal Boost, okay? We got twins here, y'all. First Signal Boost goes out to Black Lives Matter Chicago. And in their own words, Black Lives Matter Chicago is an intersectional vehicle that values Black people and our right to self-determination. We fight for justice and families most impacted while working to create just and equitable systems. Check out all the great work they are doing right now at blacklivesmatterchicago.com. And please, 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 please consider a donation at PayPal me/BLM Shy. That's PayPal BLM Shy. Black Lives Matter Chicago. Shout out. Peace on you. And then we also have the Banks Performance Project, and that is led by Collaboration company member Elisa, am I saying it correctly? Alicia? Peace be on you. Alicia Banks is hosting a Drive for Change this weekend, and they're going to be drop-off sites for canned goods and non-perishables tomorrow. And there's going to be pickup at Hamilton Park in Englewood on Saturday from noon to 6. So for more information, please visit banksperformanceproject.org, and you can learn how you can make a contribution. Again, that's banksperformanceproject.org. They have
a GoFundMe as well, and we just dropped it in the comments there. And all of those donations are going to Englewood, to the great, amazing Hamilton Park that we've called a home on the south side for a while now. Alicia is a fantastic choreographer, and we've been lucky enough to have her do some shows with us, and she choreographed our show Blue Island in the Red Sea. And if you ever get a chance to check out Banks Performance Project, do not miss it.
You're in for a treat. And speaking of treats, next week is episode 9, and we are dedicating episode 9 to Black Music Month with special guests. Our as a special guest host will be Darlene Jackson, who you've heard all this great stuff about. The lead DJ Lady D herself will be here as a co-host with us, and on deck for that night for Black Music will be B. Howard and Bianca Shaw. It is going to be a great show.
Ooh.
That's right. Cannot wait. And wow, episode 8, we did it. It's been 8 weeks, huh? Another great show. Tonight, after the credits, we're going to run some clips from last week's Becoming a White Ally co-conspirator. We grabbed some clips of me. So if you want to see what that session tomorrow at noon might be like, stick around and you'll see some samples for the show. But if any white person who wants to grow and get activated and do more than just be a performance activist on social media, but learn how to activate yourself as a part of the solution to dismantle oppression of all forms. But we're really looking at systemic racism because of the horrible impact it's had on our country. Join me tomorrow at noon. It's fun. We leave our shame at the door, and we get real with each other. So you're going to see a couple clips there. Dr. Slick, Dr. Robinson, Lieutenant Moseley signing off.
We want to thank our sponsors. And if you want to see more programming like this, please consider a donation of any amount at collaboraction.org, or you can become a monthly contributor for as little as $5 a month. So please come on and put 5 on it. We would love to get a whole bunch of those. Open up your purse, please.
Such a pleasure. Thank you so much, everybody.
We wish you peace and love.
Oh, look at this great team right here. We got a shout out.
Credits, yeah.
Annie Weldum and Luca, Jake Flume, Paka.
Thank you.
Sarah.
Thank you.
Those are Yuri Lane's beats that we played before the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, great team.
Staff, great staff. Look at that. Just a bunch of great people. Everybody from Tweed, Thornton to Telray, Hale, Phenom, Sarah Swift, Luis Crespo. Oh my goodness. Emmy Weldon, Elsa Hiltner, Concrete Runway. We've got a team. Just a fabulous multicultural team.
And we're sticking together. All right, see you next week, everybody. Stay on for this video with highlights from Becoming a White Ally, and be good to yourself.
Yes.
Collaboration. Theater for Social Change in Chicago.
The reality is we can't not be racist because we were born into this system, which is entrenched systemically in racism, and it's impossible for a white person to not have racist implicit bias. Theater and movies and books and art can be a great way to trick somebody to cultivate knowledge and empathy. So talk to your uncle right after he watches the movie. Talk to your mom when she's in the middle of the book. Most of our parents and family, they are not in a hate-based faith. So reflecting their faith back and asking them about how their faith would perceive what's happening right now. Where would Jesus be today? Would he be in the White House or would he be on the streets? Okay, next steps. I want everybody who is serious to talk to one white person before next week. Your husband, your neighbor, your cousin, your mom. Just pick that person in advance so it's not random and say, hey, I want to talk to you about where I'm at in my journey. Can we talk? Can you and I talk about this? Just that's the littlest thing. And if the 35 or 52 people on this Zoom do that one action, it might those ripples will hit the shore eventually in ways that you could never imagine. It's the justice system, it's the policing system, it's the school system. And when you have multiple systems that are tied in together, they become that much harder to dismantle because you have to break them apart and then break them down. And there's a lot of talk about defunding police and about community policing. And, you know, a year ago, those things were brought up a lot and a lot of people rolled their eyes and all of a sudden people are going, huh, I guess when somebody's talking to themselves on the bus, we don't need a police officer to come and beat them up and take them away. They can just talk to themselves. Or if somebody has a drug problem and they are in the alley, not doing well, maybe we don't need a police officer to come deal with that issue. And if you didn't know, the state police was founded out of the militias that were created to go chase runaway slaves. And then slaves, we had the Emancipation Proclamation. They said, what are we going to do with these militias? Well, let's turn them into our state polices. So our state polices were built and designed to go catch Black people and bring them back to their owner. And then we had Black codes, and then we had Jim Crow, and now we have all this going on. It's the system that made that cop think that he could kneel on George Floyd and not go to jail. And in Chicago, especially, there is a genocide, and it's been happening for a long time. And we lost how many people last weekend to gun violence? And so if you're complicit with that system, you are complicit with a system of genocide. And no one, if you are on the train, you're moving. You got to get off the train. And the only way to get off the train is to educate yourself and talk and do things in the world that reflect what you're doing. And, it's a lot of people get depressed when they think about how do you change a system. We're not going to change the system. If enough people come together, you can change a system. If enough people vote, you can put representatives in office who will work for you. And so voting is just still at its core, maybe the most important thing that we can do. Because if you're not voting, then where's your verb in being an ally?
Collaboration. Theater for Social Change in Chicago.